Hello Dodo crew! The center has always been one of my favorite maps in ARK. In ASE, I've spent a lot of wipes and therefore a good chunk of my playtime on the center. In ASA, I currently play the ongoing PvP wipe on the center. The map and the dinos have changed significantly compared to ASE, and many new dinos have been added. And some of them are among my new favorite dinos for the map. Today, I wanted to show you my top 10 creatures on the center. This is my personal top 10 for ASA after many hours of playing on the center. Let me know your top 10 in the comments. I'll place Shastasaurus or simply Shasta in 10th place because it has a super cool design and several great abilities, but overall is rarely used because it is very large and only useful in edge cases. The Shasta is no early game tame and has occasional use in late game PvP. The taming itself is kinda easy, but you need a little bit of preparation. Saddles are hard to get and they are very expensive. Due to the amount of weight it can carry and the platform saddle, it can be used as a mobile base, where you can fit medium-sized dinos and a great crafting area. Combined with their special attack, they can be used to raid underwater bases. Akatina is placed on the 9th place, because farming cementing paste on the center is very slow and kinda pain. And overall, there are only a few farm-worthy spots on the map. Every player should have at least a small amount of snails when playing on the center. Akatina is underused on most maps in my opinion. It is a mid-game tame because you need some sweet veggie cake to tame the snail and keep it alive. As in real life, snails have no gender, but you still can breed them. There are some tricks to breed endless amounts of snails, but I would not suggest to let the snails get out of control because they can lag out the server so fast that it gets scary. Number 8 is the Terror Bird, a creature that is either your biggest fear or your enemies, depending on who is riding it. I think, overall, on unofficial servers, the Terror Bird is kinda underrated and underused. When playing duo, trio or four-man, with 2 or 3 players on Terror Birds, you can run even the strongest bases and destroy turrets in no time. Terror Birds are a very easy tame. You can tame them in early, mid or late game. But you need them before you start raiding. Get a decent pair of birds and create a breeding line. Saddles and blueprints can be found very easily on most maps, especially on the center. Before running turrets, set them to aggressive, so that if you die while riding into the enemy's defense, they start to attack players around them. This keeps your enemies busy while you prepare for the next run. Number 7 is the Ceratosaurus. The Cerato is still one of my favorite dinos, but it does not really fit into the center's design. You can clearly notice that it was meant to be on a different map. Overall, I still think that the Cerato has a cool design, and it is still one of the strongest boss killers out there. On the center, it is now usable to kill bosses again, because you are now fighting the monkey and the broodmother in the new arena. They are very sturdy and can be tamed even in early game. Number 6 is the Woolly Rhino, or in short the Rhino. It perfectly fits into the style of the snowy mountains of the center. Some people use it on the island to kill the dragon. On the center it is a great defense against tamed gigas. When charging, the Rhino's attack can deal enough damage to enrage a giga with one hit. Taming is pretty straightforward and overall not that hard, even though it can deal a lot of damage if you're not careful. Number 5 is my favorite defense dino. It is the Cephectinus or Sif. It perfectly fits into the terror of the depths of the center's oceans. I highly suggest taming some if you're building in an area that can only be reached by diving through water. A pack of Sifs can shred even the strongest intruders in seconds if you put them in your base and set them to aggressive. Taming them is a bit of a pain if you're underprepared. It sounds easy to build a trap, lure one into your trap and then trank it, but trust me, it can be a challenge. One mistake and this fish will punish you. Finding saddles is hard because it seems like they only spawn in deep sea loot crates and underwater caves. Number 4, the Spino, is the best boss killer on the center. It has a great design and due to its buff in the boss arena, it can shred bosses on all difficulties with ease. I always loved the design of the Spino, both before and after the rework, and I always considered it underused compared to the Rex, despite having similar stats and even gaining a buff when close to water. You can find it nearly everywhere on the center, and finding saddles is even easier than finding ones for Rexes because they spawn in most high tier drops. Taking third place, we have the Tusu Tufis, or Tusu. I never really tamed them because I consider them overused on most maps, especially if they have very little water. However, I still like the design, and on the center, everything is different. It perfectly fits into the center, especially when diving into the depths of the ocean. I know very few players who do not get scared when they encounter Tusus while farming. I will never forget when I tried to get to the metal spot and two Tusus approached me. I have never seen a donkey swim that fast in my life. Taming them, however, is not simple. You have to find them first, then bring a tame for them to grab, and swim to them while feeding them black pearls. This can be very scary if you're doing it for the first few times. Taking second place, we have the Pyromane. I think there is not much to say. They have a great design, farm solid amounts of resources, and in PvP, they are the best shoulder pet. Yes, it is considered pay to win, but it still has an exceptional design, and many players love it, even if it costs 5 euros. Taming them is very easy, especially if you have a wyvern. When playing PvP, they are worth their money. Number 1 is the Dunkleosteus. You would not have expected that one, but the donkey is the single best farmer on the center. Some metal spots in the deep sea just broke the meta, and farming metal, obsidian, stone, crystal or oil any other way is just not worth it anymore. You need to prepare a strategy to farm as much as you can beforehand, but as soon as this beast gets started, you will swim in resources. I always loved the design of this fish and always considered it very underrated, but now it finally gets the attention it deserves. I hope you liked this video, and I'm thrilled to read what dinos you would place in your top 10. Hit the like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm and consider subbing to the channel. Alright, Frodo.